You know, I talk to people who are paying more for their property taxes now than they used to pay on their mortgage payment, mortgage, property taxes, and insurance. And that's unsustainable. We are going to drive everybody out of the state. I'm gonna bore you for a second. Well, actually, it's not gonna be boring. This is gonna be the most dangerous and exciting thing you've ever seen me do at a town hall. I'm gonna do public math. Okay, so I want you to bear with me. It's not a lot, but I think it's important that we kind of proceed from a common framework. And if you, I promise this is going somewhere because I'm gonna be talking about some of the policies that you've heard people talk about. I'm gonna be talking about some of the policies that I'm trying to get done in Topeka to address this property tax issue. But your property taxes are made up of two things. It's made up of the value of your home, and it's made up of the mill levy, right? And every year, the property values are going up 15%. And then all these local taxing entities, they keep the mill levy flat. They say, hey, I'm keeping your mill levy flat. I'm not raising your property taxes. But because your property taxes are the value times the mill levy, your property taxes are going up 15%, right? There's this level that we're at today, right? For the county, it's about 60 million. So this year, they let the property value go up 15%. They held the mill levy flat. And so your property taxes went up $4 million or 15%, right? So what are they going to do next year? Based on what they've done every year to this point, it's going to keep going up 15% every year, right? And that number will get bigger because it's 15% of the new total, right? Some of you have probably got a letter in the mail with your tax bill that was paid for with your tax money that said, this isn't our fault, this is the state's fault because the state is sitting on this LAVTR money, right? Local ad valorem tax relief, okay? And I want to talk about that, and that's why I got to do math, okay? They just went to Topeka on, I believe it was Wednesday or Thursday, because there's a bill up there that basically says the state's going to pay back this money, right? Going to pay local ad valorem. It hasn't been paid for 20 years, okay? And there's a reason, and I'm going to show you here. That's why we were doing math. I'm going to show you why we haven't been why it hadn't been paid. Now, none of us were in government. I say we. I wasn't a state representative 20 years ago. I was, trying not to get my butt blown off in Iraq 20 years ago. But give or take, I won't tell you how old I am. And neither were any of the county commissioners, I think. But the state hasn't been paying this LAVTR for 20 years, and this is why. So if you are going to pay every county in the entire state, all 105 counties in the state of Kansas, the LAVTR, the price tag comes to $500 million with a B, $500 million, okay? And you take that money, you write it, and that's every year, right? Every year, you're going to have to give $500 million back to the counties, okay? In Leavenworth, that comes out to maybe $4 million, okay? Rough math, I don't know the exact number off the top of my head. We could quibble about how much it is. For Leavenworth County, for the Leavenworth County, $4 million. Okay, so we pay that money next year, okay? Let's just say theoretically. I'm going to vote against it. I'm going to show you why. But let's say that we paid that money. Okay, so we have a new baseline forever that's LAVTR, right? Because we're giving a $500 million a year forever of your tax money to every county in the state, theoretically, so that they won't raise your property taxes anymore, okay? Well, you can see that takes up 1 year's increase. So next year, if we pay $500 million every year forever, they won't have to raise your property taxes one time. But then the next year, because their budget goes up $4 million every year. What are they going to do? They're going to have to raise taxes again, because we're not going to give them, we're not going to increase by $500 million every year. The state would be broke in 3 years. We wouldn't have enough money to keep the lights on, in Topeka, which might be a good thing, by the way. But yeah, we ain't going to be able to run the state government because all the money be going to counties. This will go up, and that's what county commissioners and people tell you. This will go up, but it's only going to go up at the rate of inflation, because sales tax goes up as more things get more expensive, because that's what the LAVTR money is sales tax. So this LAVTR is going to go up like this. If we get rid of Joe Biden, God willing, it'll be like 2% a year, because that'll be the inflation. But meanwhile, the county budget's going up 15% every year. So this is not going to fix the skyrocketing property taxes. If they used it to not increase property taxes, 1 year, they would not raise your property taxes, and then following years they go right back to raising your property taxes. Meanwhile, the state's on the hook for $500 million forever. Okay, so that is not a solution.